shit.
Guess what we're gonna do? Gonna do it, Jive Talkin, gonna do it for you. We're gonna do heavy metal news. Yes, we're gonna do it good time. Gonna have a good time. Oh.
Listen, motherfucker, this ain't no heavy metal. This song ain't no heavy metal. This ain't no motherfucking heavy metal song, man. Come on, what you doing? This ain't heavy metal. Yes, it is, baby. Yes, it is. Let's jive now. I don't even really know what the hell happened with that. Welcome, everybody, back to episode 188 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. You run out of ideas. I keep trying to come up with good ideas for songs to do that are creative in some way, and sometimes they fall a little bit flat, but I want to welcome you here. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple things. By the end of this podcast here, I'm going to tell you a very important piece of news. And I'm going to tell you 2 times this week I have cried like a baby. Like a ball baby. I mean, like sobbing, crying. One was a really good, sobbing cry, which, remember, when you were little, that was kind of just told, fucking be a man. What are you doing crying over there? If you scrape up your face, you get up and you don't cry about it. You know what? You learn that really early on, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing kind of more, I don't know if it's cleansing or what, about a good, happy cry. Not a miserable cry, but a happy one. So I'll tell you 2 stories about that and a very important piece of news that I just found out today. But welcome to episode 188. We've got your comments. Now, this is a no request zone. Everyone's aware of that now. We're all happy. We're all feeling great with each other. It's just one big happy family around here. If you're new here, it's always a good time to join us. We're just a gaggle of music freaks, and we just sit around and we talk about, well, just basically everything in my fine podcast about heavy metal news here. If you'd like to be part of that, all you've got to do is get down in the comments and put your thoughts on this episode right here. Then what happens is the next episode I do, I go and read all those comments from the last episode so I can find out how well I'm doing, how you're liking things and whatnot and what have you and what else. So let's get into it. We got Dax Riggs, Acid Bath. He's going to talk about what it's like being back out after 30 years. Tony Iommi says, well, we could have done a couple of more Black Sabbath songs if we wanted to. And Michael Monroe, we're going to watch Michael Monroe on stage with Guns N' Roses. I mean, I want to see that. Plus your comments. But first up, what do we got here? I'll tell you who. The man, the myth, the legend. This dude right here, you can see him. He's at the Black Sabbath function. I watched most of that. And this man right here, when he says, K Downing on guitar, he's the only dude from Priest there, man. And they did Breaking the Law. So he was like the man, he was the man of the hour. Kenny Ken was the man of the hour. Priest, Judas Priest representing. And KK's Priest, of course, but there wasn't a lick of one of them around. And then to get up there in front of that massive crowd and play Breaking the Law. And what was also funny is Danny Carey would look like he was struggling. That amazing Tool drummer was back there kind of going, there's a couple of, I don't know what I'm doing here, But we're going to get into this. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, yes, one of the sad cry that I had was Mama, I'm Coming Home, Ozzy Osbourne, when he was sitting in the throne at the back to the beginning, spoiler alert. And I've thought about that song, several times where I thought, oh my God, the day that Ozzy just leaves the meat sack and he moves up to the 4th dimension. That song right there, and Goodbye to Romance, and I'm Going Through Changes, and all of that stuff is just going to be heart-wrenching to listen to. And it was very tender, very wonderful, and very great. But let's get into KK Downing here. He says he was nervous. Always nervous for his back to the beginning performance. And I'll tell you what, he didn't have to be nervous about a damn thing because his little cheeks These damn cheeks right here, they lit right up. Well, you didn't even see a damn wrinkle in his face. He was happy as a clam, and to be up there in his leathers and doing it, well, he did it well.
This was the most important show in metal ever.
And he was the man representing. Boy, it sure was something else, man. It was well put together. Another thing I noticed, really, we go off topic here. There's some great footage of Tool. Tool kicked some ass. They played like, what'd they do? The 24 and 6. Is that the name of the song? I always get 25 and 624. The Chicago song. They played that, and I think they did a Black Sabbath song too. It was great. And I saw a lot of people saying in the comments like, holy shit, this is like really good close-up footage, 4K stuff of Tool, and they never do that. Let's get into Kenny. All right, Kenny has things to say about this. I was smiling with him. I was loving it. Former Judas Priest guitarist K Downing, who preformed Priests Breaking the Law and Black Sabbath Snowblind at last Saturday, July 5th, Back to the Beginning event at Villa Park in Birmingham, United Kingdom, alongside Billy Corgan. This was Tom Morello's Supergroup A and Tom Morello's Supergroup B, for whatever that means. So, during Kenny's performance there, Billy Corgan was on the vocal, the Smashing Pumpkins, Tom Morello, Rage Against the Machine on guitar, Adam Jones, a Tool. He loosened up. He still looked like he was just come out of a crypt, you know. Adam Jones looks like he sleeps in a coffin, like for real. Not that fake put on the makeup and put the white powder on in the teeth and all that. No, he's like, no, I sleep in a fucking coffin. Rudy Sarzo, the man, he's everywhere, and he was rocking it and doing his, you know, he loves to lick. He licks the bass, he licks his fingers, he loves it. Quiet Riot, Ozzy Osbourne, Whitesnake on bass, and Danny Carey on Tool on drums. Took to his social media earlier today, Tuesday, July 8th, a scant 3 days later, to share a few photos from the concert, and he included the following message. Incredible. I say incredible. This is the only word for what has just taken bleeding bloody place. Incredible. All throughout rehearsals and up to sound check, I was thinking, is this really all possible? I mean, I don't believe it to be true, but there were amplifiers. I looked my eyes over and I said, there were amplifiers, speakers, pedal boards, and miles of cables everywhere. 100 of people all going in, what? And hundreds of people all going in tons of different directions. Oh, I had to take myself. Could I actually be a bit nervous, dare I say? Hell yes, I was. This laptop. Either hum or don't. Hell yes, I was. This is going to be the most important show in rock and metal ever. Then, when I arrived on that day, the show was already underway. I said, what? And when I got to my dressing room, I was notified that the show was running 20 minutes ahead of schedule. Well, that might have been why Jakey Lee come rolling up on the stage for his portion like 3, 4, 5 minutes late. Nino Bettencourt and Lizzie Hale is up there on the damn stage going, where's Jake? Jakey Lee, we need him to rock out with us. This was truly in itself a very rare achievement. I cannot praise everyone enough that was involved with this organization, this wonderful event. The curtain went up for me and my amazing bandmates, and everything had come magically together. This event was truly in the hands of top professionals. And it really was. I mean, it was humming along. They even had beach balls that, you know, I noticed that when they were bouncing the Back to the Beginning. One side said Back to the Beginning, the other said Black Sabbath on it, or Ozzy on one side, Black Sabbath on it. And I thought, to be that intricate, to go We need the venue, we need this mixing system, these cameras, and we want to get some beach balls to bounce around. I mean, they really got detailed with it. And another thing that I appreciated too about it, as long as we're being candid, is there wasn't a lot of panaways that I noticed anyways, where they were going to Sharon and, like they were trying to get facial shots of them or something. Okay, K Kenny Ken Man's he's gonna thank the band. And who was it? It was Aquaman that introduced the whole thing. What's his name? The big dude. He played Aquaman in those new movies, races. Hey! I'm Aquaman! You know what's weird is Aquaman was my favorite superhero, like with the Aqua, as a kid watching the cartoons. Then as I got older, I was like, what, he just calls sharks and shit over to do his battles for him? I can't be part of that. I have to find someone new. And then I just got rid of it altogether. And I said, none of these superheroes are doing it for me. I would like to thank the band. And we call each other that. Dare I say we've had a couple talks about doing some other gigs. I'd like to thank Adam Jones, Danny Carey, Rudy Salso, Billy Corgan, and last but not least, the event's musical director, Tom Morello, who really did dedicate himself to this show over so many months. And he really did too. You need, when you're doing an all-star band like that, you kind of need that guy that goes, and a one, and a two, and let's keep going. Tom Morello was doing that. And then I can't remember what tune it was that he was doing, but he did one of his crazy solos instead of the real one. It might have been an Ozzy song or something, and he says, I think I'm going to scientifically create a new solo for that part. What do you think about that idea? And then he did it, and it sounded all right. Who really dedicated himself to the whole blatant black thing. It was wonderful. Catering, everything about it was wonderful. I cannot end without saying a massive thank you to Sharon, Ozzy, Downey, Geezer, and Bill for making all of this possible and for their great contributions to a very worthy charity. Now, are they going to get into it? Sharon was going to tell us there was a band she kicked off there because the band wanted to make money. And Sharon didn't want, it's going to charity. It's going to a charity. I think King Charles III of England should now prepare to, oh my goodness, he's going to go off, isn't he? I think King Charles III. That's because the Queen finally died, didn't she? I mean, she just left her meat sack. Come on, we know this already. She's in the fourth dimension. She's probably sitting here right now. But now it's King Charles. He had to wait. And then he gets to be it. Who gets to do it next? Nobody does. I think King Charles III of England should now prepare to award dear and sweet tender Sharon Osbourne and the mighty Black Sabbath each a very well-deserved knighthood. Now that's the sign of a great guy right there, Kenneth, because he's not asking for it for himself. He's saying someone else should get it, and that's a sweet thing. When Downing participated in the Back to the Beginning was first announced in February, he said in a statement, this will be an incredibly emotional and historic event, dare I say. The final farewell to the ultimate gods of metal. Rob Z, ears are tingling when you say things like that, but I said ultimate. But okay. The final farewell to the ultimate gods of metal, Black Sabbath and Ozzy, will return to their home in Aston, Birmingham, the very place where it all began. And I am deeply honored to be part of this momentous occasion, paying my respects and tribute. I vividly remember growing up in the suburbs Birmingham, England, over 50 years ago, and witnessing the emergence of this band that would pioneer a genre of music that had never been heard before. It was more than just music, it was the sound, the performance, and the atmosphere that created phenomenon that was irresistible to fans. And I was one of them. I know firsthand the immense impact Black Sabbath has had on the world. He's just the sweetest damn little thing in the world. Look at him. He can't be about $1.50. I pick him up, give him a little smack on the tush and say, get on over there. Pick that guitar up and talk to me, KK. You hear this laptop going shit crazy? I mean, everything is really going south, man. Not really. Everything is going wonderfully. Actually, really good. But I guess this is a good time to tell you. After we're done with this story, we'll get on to Dax Riggs. We're going down to New Orleans. That New Orleans sound, that doomy Louisiana sound. Dax Riggs and Acid Bath. July 31st will be my final day at my job. 27 years. It's not because I can afford it. I'll tell you that right now. I cannot afford that. But I'm a bicycle guy. That's how I've got to work for 25, I've had cars and they've died on me and I just go back to the bicycle. But the last 5 or 6 years I've been on the bicycle. From the old office to the new office, well, they're getting rid of the office. Well, when are you doing that? July 31st. Well, I do heavy lifting all day. So I load this truck up, then I take it over here to another semi truck and I unload it with 3 other trucks I got to unload every day. So I'm tired, okay? But they just said, I says, well, there's no way I can get out there. And they seem to not have any care in the world about that after 27 years. So that's going to be it. And I don't know what the hell I'm going to do next, but you know what? It's going to kick the freaking ass. Okay? Because I'm all about positive vibes now. And if you don't want me around, you're going to move that away. I feel like that's what's happening. Is the universe is pushing that job far away from me. They say, okay, Shane, listen here, buddy. You're terrible with cars. We made sure that happened. So you don't ever have a car that lasts you more than a year or two, and you've got to get back on that humble bicycle and pedal your sweet, juicy ass. And then they say, and then, my God, he's never going to quit this job. He's never going to stop unless we move that office where he can't easily access it. And that's what they're doing, and they don't seem to care about it. And they're short people, so even the boss man who wears his little, little button-up, comes in with his, whatever those tight pants are, goose you right in the ass, that are really hip and cool that they wear. And he comes in, his ass will be out in the truck in my spot. And he just seems to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, well, okay. You don't have to tell me where I'm not wanted. So July 31st will be it. Any good vibrations you can send my way, I'd appreciate every damn one of them. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Dax Riggs. And he's going to open up about the beautiful thing that is Acid Bath's reunion. I think they were playing festival shows. Of course, we've done a lot of Acid Bath on this channel, don't you know? And we know that Audie Pittrie was the bass player who passed away in a tragic accident some X amounts of 1997 years ago. And they've gotten back together, and they're playing shows. So Dax Riggs opens up about Acid Bath reunion. It's a beautiful thing to be part of. And thank you, David E. Guyheck, for this opportunity. One of the ultimate what-if bands in the annals of underground metal, New Orleans sludge metal pioneers, Acid Bath. dissolved in 1997 following the death of bassist Audie Pitre from a car accident. The band's split came months after the release of their second studio album, Pagan Terrorism Tactics. We've done a bunch of songs from that on the first listens that I put out every single Sunday. A brooding, dark, soulful effort that should have fast-tracked them to broader exposure and potentially a long, fruitful career. Instead, its remaining members splintered off into new endeavors. Vocalist Dax Riggs and guitarist Mike Sanchez formed the short-lived Agents of Oblivion. We may have done a song from them before, I'm not sure, before Riggs started doing Dead Boy and the Elephant Men. And I've heard some of that because that's acoustic style, isn't it? Oh, then a solo career while guitarist Sammy Duet turned his attention to Goat Whore. We've done them. As the years tick by, Acid Bath, for all intents and purposes, that's how you say that. Intents and purposes. I just mumbled it out. I didn't really, for all I knew, it could have been one word, intents and purposes. You just say it. Acid Bath, for all intents and purposes, felt like it was going to remain untouched. As it turns out, the band's lore grew in subsequent years to the point where Riggs, Duet, and Sanchez could no longer ignore calls for a reunion. Drummer Jimmy Kyle is not taking part in the reformation. He went on to do the 9 to 5 and probably ended up doing pretty well. The process of putting Acid Bath back together started in 2024 and truly came to fruition this April in front of a sold-out crowd in their hometown. From there, a handful of domestic festival dates have only increased the excitement around the band's reunion, which will take Acid Bath into 2026 for additional dates where they will continue to air cuts from Pagan Terrorism Tactic as their 1994 debut, When the Kite String Pops. So they're going to do both those things. How do you like that? Among those enjoying the comeback is the soft-spoken Riggs, who, in a rare interview, provided Blabbermouth.net some insight into one of metal's most feel-good stories of 2025. Mr. Blabbermouth here, once again. We've done an interview with this guy. He's got good questions sometimes. And this is Dax Riggs, so they better be good. And what's the first question that he should ask? He's not going to ask it, but what's the very first question he should be asking Dax Riggs? Have you stepped on a nail, and can you tell me the story? But that's kind of a trademark question to me. Blabbermouth, Mr. Blabbermouth. Now, what was the first step in all of this? I mean, what was the first step in all of this? Was it getting back into the room with Sammy and Mike? Is that how it began? I guess he's a very demure guy, right? I guess Mike and I got back together a little bit before, just to start the process, I guess you'd say. And we had another friend, as well as a couple of friends. We had one friend and then a couple of friends sit in with us to help us play the songs at first. And at first it was a complete wow. That sounded like the song. When Sammy came in and the other players came in, it came together. It seemed pretty cool. There was no weirdness. We were all trying to do it and trying to remember, at least for me, I was. We were all trying to do it and remember it, but I was, for sure for me. I think them as well, too, I'll say that. Because it is different for everybody involved. So it was kind of natural. Oh, that's very good, Mr. Riggs. Do you mind if I call you Dax? Oh, no, please go right ahead. So you, Sammy, and Mike remained friends since the breakup, right? Oh, totally. I mean, they are some of my oldest friends that I still keep in touch with. I mean, you know, we've stayed in touch over 30 years, you know. You know how life goes, don't you? Mr. Blabbermouth, you're living a life, aren't you? So you know how it's going for you. Well, they are like your ancient friends who knew you when you were a baby. They are like my brothers. They do that kind of action. Hey, fucking Dak Sammy! Then they come down here. Then they do that. Okay. See ya. Peace. That's how they do handshakes when they leave. Oh, Mr. Blabbermouth coming in. Very well. Very well. Great answer to that. Do you want to go into that first show this past April in New Orleans? I mean, would you be comfortable talking? What did it feel like for you? I mean, wow. Mr. Blabbermouth, you are firing on all cylinders, all 4 cylinders there, sir. Well, it felt really good to me, I've got to say that for sure, but there was a lot of weight on it. I wanted to make sure that I got it as correct as I could. I guess there was a lot of weight to it. It felt like I had a job to do, and that was my main intention, but I was certainly nervous that first time. Probably for the sound check. I was even more nervous for the sound check even. I was probably shaking during sound check. If you were shaking during sound check, but you were not shaking during the concert, you were more scared during sound check. By the time we did the show, I kind of zenned out to the whole damn thing. Pardon my French. Shane added that. Mr. Blabbermouth, there is, oh, wow. Everything's zen, man. Everything's zen. There is such a tremendous amount of buzz, and I'd say excitement about Acid Bath's return. Dax, one last question. I mean, a lot of questions here for you, but the last one that Shane will do, how are you dealing with that? That's taking my head off. It was lurking there in the dark. It was always there. There were always people interested, but I really had no idea of the monster it was until it came out of the dark. Then all the people were looking at us. Then we realized something had happened over time. The shows are very intense and involve a lot of singing along. It feels very joyous on a psychic level. I'm down for that, dude. As if there's a release. As you would expect, it's a beautiful thing to be part of. You know what? I like that. When you got a good concert and you can, I talked about this, I think last time, about you feel that energy in the room. It's magic. And that's what he's talking about. And that's kind of brilliant that they do have a lot of them kind of bits where people can sing. Not that I know the words to it. I'm not very good with words and stuff, but well, let's see. Mr. Blabbermouth's going to talk about beautiful things, so I want to know what he says. Do you think it's a beautiful thing because of how the band ended and how it has now turned into? Yes, Mr. Blabbermouth, yes. Having that light put on my friend who was such an important part of our band, sweet Audrey Pittry, rest in peace. But he's just, you know, guys, cool it with the, he's just in the 4th dimension. I don't technically know if that's correct. Can I get 4th dimension? That makes me have a secret joy about the whole thing. I'm going to read this again to not besmirch Mr. Dax Riggs, because that was a bastard thing. He's talking about a fallen soldier here. I'm going to do it again. Yes, having the light put on my friend who was such an important part of the band, Audie Pittry, that makes me have a secret joy about the whole thing. And he's a wonderful guy, and he's a tender fellow. You know, Audie's very loving it. He's saying, go for it, guys. Oh, God, Blabbermouth says, I saw you dedicate a Scream of the Butterfly to him. Yeah. but it changes. There are several in the set that are more his kind of songs, his musical creations in that way. That's great. So if they play something that he had more sugar buns on, put cinnamon on the roll, they play those songs and dedicate it to him. This is a top-notch group, rock band, and that is a top-notch man. And I respect Mr. Blabbermouth for doing that damn thing. There he is right there, Tony Iommi. Fucking got up there and did it. They rocked it out. Ozzy came out in a big throne. And that was the first, like I told you before, the first story that I was going to tell you. It was really sobbing. You know, I think Ozzy had some tearage going on and stuff. But Mama, I'm Coming Home was just, the whole audience was in tears. You know, it was just one of them moments where he's like, God damn it. Time flies. If you're not, you know, you're when you focus too much about everything else that's coming up and you don't spend it in the present moment, it just flies by. You know, there was a good analogy for that where they said, you know, you're playing with your friends or whatever, and time would just fly by. It's because you were so caught in the moment, in what was going, that the time just flew on by. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Now, this man loves fragrances, colognes and stuff. I thought that's what was back here on this, you know. I thought he would have like his fragrances. You always want to have a bottle of your fragrance in the background. Tony Iommi says Black Sabbath could have played 6 or 7 songs at Back to the Beginning. Maybe they were just being safe because, you know, just depending on how Ozzy was feeling. I don't know. This laptop. All right, where do you got to get those? Claire. Anyways, on July 8th episode of Sirius XM's Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk. Tony Iommi reflected on the last weekend's Back to the Beginning event, which marked the original Black Sabbath lineup's first performance since 2005 and the quartet's final live appearance. He said, "Wow, it's been stressful for the last couple of months. Really. Thinking about it is just stressful to think about it. And we went into rehearsals a month ago. But you never knew until today. I mean, we hadn't played on a big stage with original Sabbath drummer Bill Ward in over 20 years. For 20 years. So it was wondering what was going to happen. But no, it all went bleeding bloody fine. See, sometimes you get worried. You put your mind on things, and you go, oh, that wasn't so bad. Haven't you? Every damn time in your life, every single time you go, well, that wasn't really that bad. I thought it was going to be worse. Your brain tells you everything's got to be torn up. Asked by Eddie, do you think the Sabbath's performance, do you think it went fine? I mean, how did you guys feel in particular about what you did? Especially considering that you, Sir Mr. Iommi, had publicly expressed reservations about playing the shows due to the fact that you guys hadn't played together in so long. Well, thank you, Eddie. You're such a nice boy. I've always liked you, Eddie. And then you had me on one time, I do believe you did, when I was selling some of my fragrances. And you let me come on and talk about my fragrances. Well, yes, after it happened, it's fine. Yeah, of course. I mean, it raised a lot of money for charities. And that was the main thing. And it was great to see the guys and all be together again for weeks. I was thinking about that too when I was watching. I was like, how great would that be to go, oh man, I'm going to be part of the Ghost guy. He's out there too much. I'm wearing a shirt, I know, but he's out there too much now. He did an okay job of Bark at the Moon, but how would it be to be someone like that where you go, oh, back to the beginning. They want me to be part of it, so I'm going to go to, England for 2 weeks just to rehearse and get ready for the whole thing. I'll just chill in England for 2 weeks, and then I'll do the show, and then I'll go back home to wherever it. It's like, what a wonderful life that would be.
Well, yes. After it happened, it's fine. Yeah, of course. I mean, it raised a lot of money for charity. She's a sweet girl. Used to work down at me pub down there. And that was the main thing. And it was great to see the guys and be all together again. It was good, yeah.
Iommi went on to clarify that the reason he hadn't seen the other members of the original Sabbath lineup in so long is,
I live in England and the other three are in the States. So, by everybody coming over, yes, we had time to talk of old times. And it was just slotted straight back into like we hadn't left each other.
What's that word, slotted?
And it just slotted straight back in like we were,
like slots?
Like, I was in the band room going like this on me guitar, and all of a sudden the door came open and it was Ozzy Osbourne, and I said, Ozzy, my friend, it's like old times, getting your slot. And then I started to play again, and here comes Geezer Butler through the door, and I says, Geezer, it's good to meet you, getting your slot.
Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. You can see I'm very amped up because, me losing my job has me a bit unnerved, okay? This might be a little more unhinged than usual. And I've got something to ask Miss Althea when I get in the comments, because I think she was talking about synchronicity, and I'm going to ask her about this. I don't like to look at the comments before I get there, but I did see a little bit. That's like when I told you. Don't you remember when I told you last week about Rebel Metal? He's down there too.
I live in England and East Bay, and it's just slotted straight back in. Oh God, it was great. And of course, a lot's happened in the last 10 years or whatever it was since we'd done a show with Black Sabbath. And of course, I said to you before, we hadn't played with Bill live for 20 years, so it was Harry wondering what's going to happen really. Because Bill,
and he was rocking it too, man. I'm not Bill Ward. I was thinking of Geezer Butler. Geezer Butler was blistering them strings. I was like, man, there he goes.
Because Bill, the drummer, when he plays different things every time.
So he's kind of like Stuart Copeland from the Police in that way. Did you know that? Stuart Copeland, he's like, yeah, I never played the same shit twice.
So, you just have to be on your tippy toes, Eddie. You know, Eddie, what I'm talking about when you got to be on your tippy toes? But no, it went well. I mean, it was strange for us going on a big stage and a big audience, and then also being streamed to millions of people all over the globe. It's very nerve-wracking, Eddie.
I could only imagine. I mean, I have been on stage and introduced bands to large audiences before, but I could only imagine.
But I said it was nerve-wracking for a one-off show. Normally, we would do a tour. We'd be rolling, but to get all worked up for one show and then, bang, it's over. Eddie, I have to tell you, it seemed quite strange to me.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Regarding the songs that Sabbath chose to perform on Saturday, War Pigs, Iron Man, NIB, and Paranoid. Is that Paranoid by Garbage?
I think I'm paranoid. Anyway you need me.
Anyone like Garbage, the band Garbage? Anyone?
We worked out what we were going to play. We did it. What songs we were going to play. We worked them out, we picked them. And it was really a case of how long Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath singer, could do it, really, because we didn't know. With him doing his own set right before, yeah, which I said to him, "Ow, Ozzy, I don't think you should do that."
"Oh, don't give a bloody fuck what you had to say to me." He didn't say that. He's a sweet man that eats birds and bats and ants. Not anymore. I says, "I don't think you should do this," because I didn't want him to get burnt out by the time he'd come on with us. But he didn't. Of course he didn't. And he did his own set. We ended up doing 4 songs where we put aside sort of 6 or 7, but it worked out that we did 4. Well, that was fine. After Trunk noted, "I was surprised to see Ozzy's come back on stage so soon after performing with his solo band to sing the final 4 songs with Sabbath." "Yes, Eddie, yes. Now you're talking. Yes." That was my concern, and that was all our concern. Actually, Geezer. We call him the Fingers. Not Vinny, the Fingers, but we also call him Geezer, the Fingers. But the Black Sabbath bass player, myself and Bill, we thought that he should have a longer break. We were back there backstage going, "Come on, Ozzy, you've got to take a..." "I'm ready to go. Just bring me through the floor there and I'm ready to do it." I said, "Oh, come on, Ozzy, you've got to take a break, man. They can go to commercial or something and we can have a bit more time. Let that David Draymond sing another terrible version of an Ultimate Sin song." "No, the show must go on and it must go on now." And we didn't really know how we were going to do it, because the original plan was we'd get a curtain. And the curtain was going to be raised and we'd all be there. But of course, on the day before, when went down for the sound check at the stadium, the curtain didn't work. And they thought best not to use it, 'cause it was windy. So, then we had to figure out how we were going to get on stage, which was a revolving stage, by the way. It was mainly getting Oz on because he's in a throne, and then Geezer and I walk on, and Bill was already on there because he's got his little seat behind the drums. So it was making it up as we really went along, really, kind of. It's kind of funny when that happens, when they do the big curtain thing and it doesn't quite come down. I saw that for a ghost show once. I think it was on YouTube, where, they got the silhouette, the white curtain and the silhouette of the guitar player, and then they're like, "The curtain won't fucking come down." There's something, just silly about it. Are we done here? Iommi added that Sabbath was ready to play more songs, but the other musicians had run out of time. Well, we had 7 or so songs, yes indeed, and then we threw it. And then it went down to 6 songs. We had 7, then 6, and then of course there is a strong curfew at the Villa Park, Birmingham, United Kingdom Arena. You know what I'm saying, Eddie? I'm surprised they managed to get all the bands in anyway. I really am. Because the organization, how Rage Against the Machine guitarist and the event music curator Tom Morello, he loves rock and roll, man. He loves heavy metal music. Tom Morello, and he was behind the scenes on all of that. That is a man that says he loves Black Sabbath and Ozzy. For that, I give him... Well, I was going to give him a 3-finger salute, but then I didn't know if that was some kind of rude thing or what. Is that Boy Scouts?
I think we're done here. You couldn't go over time spent. You couldn't do it at the Villa Park. You couldn't go over the time spent. But Tom did a fine job of keeping everybody on cue. Except for that Jake Ely, who just damn wandered in. I think he played one tune. Walked out there late, played one tune. I think it was off the Ultimate Sin. No. What was it? Can't remember now. Oh, yeah, he did Ultimate Sin. And then he just walked off stage and some other guitar player came on. Let's get into Hell Yeah. Real quick, I just wanted to see, we're not going to dig too deep into this. You know, people are saying, oh God, he's just fishing for shit, dude, so he can do Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons voices. No, not really. I just wanted to see why they're talking about the Vegas event is now the new Kiss cruise landlocked in Vegas. What happened? I thought it was just going to be a good old-fashioned convention, and now something shifted. Kiss Army Storms Vegas event to transform into Kiss Cruise Landlocked in Vegas event. So that basically means that they're lumping this all together because the cruise ship is not available for the particular weekends that they would like, right? Legendary rockers Kiss, you know what that stands for? I'm not going to say it. Have announced that their previously announced Kiss Army Storms Vegas event will transform into Kiss Cruise Landlocked in Vegas. Okay, now my brain's starting to think about something. How are you going to have a Kiss Cruise Landlocked without doing all those Kiss performances? All right, I guess now is as good a time to tell you about my real good sob before we get into this story, because this will make us sob even more probably. I'm going to tell you about something that made me cry so happily that I felt like I should be doing that once a week. I am currently in season 48 of Survivor. In episode 1, they get on the Jeff Probst, welcome everyone to Survivor, and they go off to their tribes. There is this young girl, and I hope you guys look up some clips of this stuff because you're going to be crying your damn eyes out. But there is this good man that is on this team, and his name's Joe. Of course it's Joe. Every good guy, one for the Big Joe. Big Joe's always, Joe is Big Joe. Well, he's this muscular guy, good hearts, just a wonderful heart in the guy. He's a firefighter. He's just a sweetheart. Everyone knows it on his tribe of, that he's with. And this young 20-something, she's cute. She's very athletic. She's like the first girl to ever be on a boys hockey team type of thing. But she's 20 years old. She has autism. And in the first episode, everyone's liking Joe. Everyone's going fucking, hey Joe, will you help me chop some bamboo over here? We got to get the roof up for the, everyone's loving Joe. And she says, I think this might be the guy. And she's telling the camera, I have autism, and sometimes I really get panicky, anxiety, and everything else, and I go into these fits. And I need somebody to know about this that I can trust in this game. And so she tells Joe. And Joe's got like a 20-year-old daughter. Joe is a fucking man. He is just a sweetheart. He's just a sweetheart of a guy. So she tells him, she says, I've got, I'm autistic, and sometimes when I get frustrated or I get this, I have these panicky things, and I just need you to hold me. Sometimes, if you see me doing this with my hands, I'm about ready to go, and if you would just grab my hands and hold my hands for me and stuff, and it brings me out of it. But please don't tell anybody. Please don't vote me off. Please, because they find that out. They're going, well, she should just go right now. All right, so flash forward to episode 4 or 5.
This particular scene is in episode 5 of season 48 of Survivor, if you're looking for it. Joe and Eva. It's probably splashed all over because it's probably one of the greatest moments in television history, for whatever that's worth. So they're at this big, they got to do those challenges where they got to run over shit and climb through the mud and do this and do that. And at the end, there's always a puzzle that they've got to figure out, right? So here we are. They've shuffled all the teams up. Eva is no longer on Joe's team. So they don't speak with each other anymore. The teams do not speak to each other anymore, right? So he's on one team, she's over here. And as you would have it in great television history, you have to sink 4 balls in these holes. And here is Eva at this puzzle where you got to move this table back and forth and roll this ball down to put it in the final slot that would win them so they don't have to get kicked out. They don't got to go to the tribal council thing, right? Bear with me here. So here she is, and it falls off, and it falls off, and she's trying to get that thing, God, I can't do it, and it's falling off, and old Big Joe over there, he can hear her kind of going, and he's got his hands down on his knees like this, he's like this, and he's trying not to let anybody see, but he's over there, and he's looking at her, and he's going, you can do it, girl, go, you can do it, and I'm like, oh my God, Joe, oh my God. And she's just frustrated, and he's going, and she's starting to look over at him now, and he's like, you can do it. And then all of a sudden, plonk, she gets the ball in the hole, and oh my God, but it's too late. She's gone. She's happy. She's just all over the place, right? And Joe's standing there. And he's looking at her, and he's trying to get her attention and everything, and she's looking over at him, and they can't get to each other. And then the host, Jeff Probst, says, I can see something's happening between you two. You want to go over to her? And oh my God. When he grabs her, and he grabs her hands and is hugging her and stuff, it was one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen on TV. And then to even make it even a little bit better, Jeff Probst, he's losing it. And he's like, this is the first time in 48 seasons of Survivor where you got me. But it was just the most heart-touching moment because he was like, you know what? I don't care if I blew my game up. I don't care. I was not going to let her down. And so everyone knows now that they are together. So now everyone's got to be bucking to get rid of him. But that was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I cried like a baby. I mean, like tears. I mean, I got out of that. It was something else. So go hunt that down. It's much better if you see the relationship blossom over the 3 or 4 episodes. But that moment right there, episode 5. Season 48, Joe and Eva. I want them to win now. I want them to both win. You know what Big Joe will do? Big Joe will take her to the end. And then when they say, give us your final thoughts on who should win, he say, yeah, I'll give you my final thoughts. You want to know? Give her the money. I don't want none of your votes. Give her the money. That's Big Joe. That's his attitude. I caught myself saying out loud, the world needs more Big Joes. The world needs more Joes. And they're out there. You just gotta find them. Legendary rockers, Kiss of the Knights in Satan's Service have announced that their previously announced Kiss Army Storms Vegas event will transform into Kiss Cruise Landlocked in Vegas, set to take place November 14th through the 16th, 2025 at Virginia Hotels in Las Vegas. This special fan experience is being created with co-producer of Pop House. Oh, that's the ones that are making their digital Kiss. Creators of Boutique Music Vacations, Topeka, and music-led destination experience company, Vibby. That's an app. Vibby? That's an app. Newly included activities will include, this might be the thing that tickles your fancy. Acoustic Kiss kickoff set on Friday, November 14th, along with performances from former Kiss guitarist Bruce Kulick, Stephen Pearcy, the man that's everywhere all at once, and Warren DeMartini performing the music of Rat, ex-Skid Row singer, by God, if there's a man that can jump through time, it's him. Sebastian Bach, yes. Quiet Riot, Black and Blue, because Tommy Thayer will jump back in with Black and Blue. Chris Jericho, Quarantine, Chris Jericho's Quarantine, a Kiss tribute band. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Chris Jericho's Quarantine, Kiss tribute band, Mr. Speed. We know them. We know who they're pretty good. And Kiss Nation. So that's 3 cover bands. School of Rock comedian Craig Gass. Who's he? Isn't that KG? Jack Black's band? Isn't that the guy? And DJ Noise. There will also be, I wonder how pumping DJ Noise is going to be. It's going to be good. If you're going to this thing, I want you guys to just blister DJ Noise. Make him the star of the whole thing. And Mr. Speed. And Black and Blue. If Jamie St. James is singing for Black and Blue, make them the stars of the night. Could you do that? There will also be question and answer session with Kiss co-founders Gene the Gene Man Simonans and Paul Stanley, as well as longtime Kiss guitarist Tommy Thayer and manager Doc Maggie. Other panelists include Kiss producer Bob Ezrin, Kiss photographer Lynn Goldsmith, and Kiss Army founder Bill Starkey and Jay Evans. They will be there to answer all your questions about the Kiss Army. Anything that you might have on your mind about it. I never knew how to do it. Someone's going to say I'm false metal right there because I don't have a Kiss Army card, but I didn't quite know how to do it. How do I sign up? I am part of the Army, but I don't know what the process. I was a little young. I didn't know what the process was for joining. I didn't know how to get a hold of Bill Starkey or Jay Evans. You think my mother's going to let me use the phone to call strangers like Bill Starkey and Jay Evans to see about joining the Army? What? She'll say, get the, I almost got my ass handed to me calling some of them 1-900 Motley Crue lines and 1-900 Freddy Krueger and 1-900. You don't think about where it says cost $3 a minute, okay? You don't think about that when Freddie's going, call me now. Call me right now and I'll grab your sweet dude. You just do it. When Freddie tells you to give him a call at a certain number, you do it. The Everything Kiss Paradise, which also includes support artist meet and greet, curated Kiss gifts, and so much more, will take place in celebration of Kiss Army's 50th anniversary and the 30th anniversary of the first Kiss Fan Convention. Since retiring from touring in December 2023, this will be the first time Kiss has performed together. Man, I've got a wet spot inside the nostril there where I'm like, I hope there isn't something hanging out. Kiss has performed together and will be in one of a kind for fans to experience Kiss unmasked, acoustic, and electric shows featuring Simmons, Stanley, Thayer as special guests. And they're talking about packages. Let's see that's official experience packages. There's different levels of packages that you can get, and if you're the coolest, then you get the the most expensive package. You got to sit down and watch Paul Stanley eat an ice cream cone. Oh, that's good. You know. Official experience package for Kiss Cruise, landlocked in Vegas, offering the Kiss Army a bucket list worthy rock and roll packed weekend adventure. A bucket list worthy rock and roll packed weekend adventure are available exclusively through Vibby. All Vibby packages include a suite of inviolable perks. What? All Vibby packages include a suite of inviolable perks, including a 3-night... See, someone stupid like me go, honey, it's inviolable perks. Why, it says it right there. It says it's going to be exclusive inviolable perks. We've got to get that package. They're just using words there just to get you to go, wow, that's very fancy. There's going to be shrimp. 3-night stay at Virgin Hotel, Las Vegas. Okay, where is it? Bucket list, whether Vibby. All invaluable perks, including a 3-night stay at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas. Access to the Kiss Unmasked acoustic and electric concerts. Question and answers. You are welcome to ask questions, but also give answers if you want. With the members of KISS, all panels, artist sets on lineup and activities, a curated KISS cruise landlocked in Vegas gift, and an event poster signed by the members of the band. Photos with KISS. Well, why does it say photos with KISS memorabilia? And collectible laminate and lanyard. Laminated lanyard. It's not collectible. Let's get real with it, guys. You know, Jimi Hendrix fucking 69 laminate is valuable, collectible. If you guys are doing laminated lanyards at every damn concert you've ever done, they're not, you know. For more information and to secure premium inviolable perks and seating closest to the stage, book now at kisscruisevegas.com. He has just been put to task. Look at Gene Simmons' face. He has just been told where the bear shits in the woods. It's another one of them moments where Paul's saying, anyways, shoot the picture, sir. And he has just said a few choice words to Mr. Simmons there. Let's get into Michael Monroe with Guns N' Roses. Now, this is the song Bad Obsession, and I think that is off that Guns N' Roses double records that they did that I never really got into. I'll be honest with you, when Cold November Rain came out, it's a wonderful song. But when it came out, I was like, oh, this ain't that sleaze rock, man. I want some of that, more of that shit that they did on that first record. And so I didn't really pay attention to these two records. So I'm not sure if I know Bad Obsession or not. Okay, guys. Let's get into it now. I apologize if this is going... I've got a lot of stuff on my mind that I have to think about, okay? I have a lot of shit going on in my brain right now that I've got to think about. And you guys, this is the way I think things out. And I can't wait to get to the comments because I got something for Miss Althea to ask her personally about this situation. Guns N' Roses featuring Michael Monroe. Of course, he's... we know who Michael Monroe is, don't we? Why am I Hanoi Rocks? Why am I stinking on the name? I wanted to make sure this was a good video, but Michael Monroe rocks out on stage and he's already playing the harmonica. This guy has style. Just the coolest. There's Axel. He walked by. This is about to get some asses rocking. Has this song got harmonica in it? You know, Slash, he's still looking pretty good. He's got a gut on him, but he's looking pretty tight and right, man. He's rocking. Hey. Is he not? All right, I want to pause this for a second. First off, Axel sounded pretty good there because he's in the low register. When he's hitting that really high stuff, it's you know, they're making memes about it. I'm not going to be rude about it, but they're making memes and stuff about his voice when he goes high. So when he's down in there, but I hope he's going to sing. I don't want him just to play the harmonica. I ain't got no time for that. I don't think I've ever heard this. Now my slashy, you're talking to my slashy. And then Duff's looking good too. I mean, they look pretty solid. Wouldn't you say, Guns N' Roses? They're looking pretty healthy. Michael Monroe wins them all, but... They got Sabbath Bloody Sabbath here. We might have a taste of that too before we get into here. Give him the next verse. Michael needs to sing the next verse of this or I'm turning it off. I told you I wanted to hear him sing. Let me ask you this. Is the harmonica part of that song? Or did they say, holy shit, Michael Monroe's here, let him play the harmonica to it? I want him to sing. Don't you love the harmonica? Okay, he's just making it up as he goes. He don't know a damn word of it. He knows rhythm. He knows the song when he hears it. He can play that harmonica. He don't know a damn word of that. He says, what are you playing? We're playing, we're going to duck it in the middle, and duck it in the middle, and we're going to play Bad Obsession. So whatever the fuck. I'll get out there and... I'm a bluesman. I got my harmonica, and I know a beat. So you give me a beat, and you give me a guitar riff, and I'll lay down some harmonica to it. Hey, he does know the words. All right. Is this my favorite Guns N' Roses song ever? I like the way he gets around. Axel isn't a man that can stand in one spot. Like that keyboard lady. Oh, he's down there snorting something, isn't he? No, he doesn't. They got a buffet tray over there. Look at that. They got a damn buffet tray, and he's over there going, there's the snacks. What do I want? Watch. It's like, oh, shit. Oh, they did have the M&Ms with no green ones in it. Good, yes. They listened to me this time. guys, I mean, this is just itching my craw to see them do Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, so. And by the way, you know the drill. If they try and ding me, never been sung quite this way before, but I mean, honestly, man, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds the way the way I sing it when I'm in the shower. What the hell is that? I don't want you guys thinking I watch kinky shit on here. What is that? I can't even read that. I'm not into that. Whatever that is, she's going, oh yeah, you are, buddy. No. Whatever the hell that is, get that out of there. It sounds like me in the shower. Lower, yes. You gotta, nobody would ever let you know when you ask the reason why. Go into the lower register, Axel, please. Thank you. You know, you're on your own. So it's almost Muzak, isn't it? Something you'd hear in the grocery store or something like that. So who's this? Captain and Tennille doing Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath? All right. It's time to get on with your comments. Another, okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. But I'll tell you what. Some of them bands that Tom Morello put together, he had Supergroup A and Supergroup B. It was a bit strange to see Billy Corgan up there doing whatever the hell they did. I mean, but overall, they all seemed... It was very weird to see all of those types of... There was one set of, like, the Supergroup B had the drummer for Sleep Token. His name's Two. And he was back there doing the songs. He was blistering those drums. He sounded great. But it was just a weird set. You had Sleep Tokens 2 on the drums. Nuno Betancourt, who was just blistering everybody's buns all night. Oh, you need some Randy Rhoads? Oh, you want some Jake? I mean, he was up there with Jake E. Lee. And Jake E. Lee seemed like he was like, yeah, fucking whatever. Anyways, it is time to get into your comments. That's right, your comments, the best part of the podcast. I am going to go take a quick squeege. Do that now, and then we'll come back here. This might be the Razzie winner, this episode, but let's keep going. Wait, I never had a chance to love you. That just popped into my head because Mike Tramp, former lead singer of White Lions, putting out Best of White Lion Volume 3 is going to be on its way. Welcome back. We're here at the comments, and up first, very first, tippity top. I hope I got it right. It says 5 comments there, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, and, well, a quick one from this guy. Yeah, so let's do it. Rebel Metal. Fine person here comes in. Question for you, Shane. Who is your favorite band? What are some bands that are your go-tos? Well, first out of the gates, we got to talk about styles of music. Thrash bands, I mean, I don't really listen to Metallica and stuff. Overkill is always a go-to band for me. I've always loved Overkill. Death metal, Entombed. I've always liked a lot of Entombed stuff. but like, it's really hard. I'm more of kind of a song person these days. I mean, over the last while, it's like a good song is a good song. I don't care particularly about what band it comes from. But if I'm going way, way back, Kiss would have to be one of those bands. I mean, that band right there. We goof, we have fun, we're silly, but they did it for everybody, a lot of people, and Kiss was probably that. I've probably listened to more Kiss songs in my life than, I don't know. I've listened to a lot of Kiss. But it's a hard question to answer, but thank you for that. And there's your heart. I always get flustered. Anytime anyone tries to ask me, like, lists, top 10, that's why I don't do them. I don't do top 10 bangers and my all-time favorite albums and just all that, because there's something to like about all of it or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm not good with that. Miss Althea coming in here, and I have things. Synchronicity is what I want to ask you about. Yes, you did spell it right, and the first thing that immediately came into my mind was the title track for the Police album. Yeah, Synchronicity. Synchronicity, you want the synchronicity. That's a good record. Did you like that, Miss Althea? Dragonflies are symbolic of transformation, adaptability, and self-realization. So, their recent recurring appearance could perhaps be a sign from the universe you have safely entered a new chapter following the passing of Mama Diablo and Kitty Hawking, yes, and my best friend, Chris. I find them fascinating and beautiful, while my husband is terrified of them. He equates them to wasps, which is ridiculous. And they are. I mean, I picked it up. It was on my hand. They ain't biting, stinging, doing nothing. But they are big. Here's what I want to ask you about a synchronicity, because here's another, and I get them all day long. All day long. It's crazy. And I'm not looking for numbers. Look at all the license plates. No. I'm talking about stuff in the sky and everything. Let me ask you this, because this felt like it was from a movie. I get back to the office. They say, yeah, we're moving the office. So you're going to move it clear out there by the airport, basically. Yep. Okay, all that happened. So I'm like, all right, well, then what's the last day? It's July 31st, is the last day in this building. I'm like, well, okay. So as I'm riding the bicycle up the hill to the bus stop to get on the bus to head on home like I've done for 27 years. Not a full 27 years, but, working there 27 years. Bicycle sometime, whatever. As I'm riding up the hill, I'm like, universe, you've got to give me a sign, because I'm stubborn. I'll work there until I'm 85. But I say, you got to give me a sign of some sort. Now, my hand up to Mama Diablo and my friend Chris. My hand up. This is no fibs, no lies. I'm riding up. I say, you got to give me a sign. I get up to the bus stop. I sit down on the bench like I like to do. You guys know I look at the sky and everything. The sun's right up above. We're kind of off. It's only 3 o'clock, whatever. And I look up, and there's a fucking hawk. A beautiful hawk with its wings spread out. And it comes right over my head, sitting on the bus stop, and then I look like I lean like that to where the sun's at, and it literally circles the freaking sun a couple of times and then flies off and down over a tree. Now, Miss Althea, I'm really bad with cues. Believe you me, women can hit on me, and then when I leave, they go, dude, she was all over you. And I go, really? I'm really bad with that kind of stuff. But I feel like that was a real, message almost. Is that crazy? Am I a crazy person? Only you can do that. Tell me. Miss Althea on Sebastian Bach. Let's see. Did I finish that? He equates them to what? Yes. Dragonflies are not, Dan. Okay? They're sweet, flying demons, whatever. Don't pick one up, Dan. I'll tell you what, it'll set you free, man. Pick up a damn dragonfly next time one lands in the backyard or something. Not aggressively. Don't force it on you, but try it. You'll feel wonderful. Miss Althea on Sebastian Bach. Okay, Skid Row's debut album was 36 years ago, and now he is going to get on a soapbox about some, maybe most at this point, of the material being difficult to hit live? Maybe a valid discussion somewhere between 1990 and 92, yes, at the latest, but not in 2025. Sorry, Bass. And just like the Peanuts character Lucy Van Pelt, the doctor is in, and here is my 5 cents worth of psych advice, or rather personal opinion in this case. Any guy who openly brags, okay, now, to set this up, Miss Althea, I had mentioned that the first thing that Sebastian Bach told Sabo and those guys when he joined Skid Row was, how you doing? I got a 9-inch ding-a-ling. So now Miss Althea is going to speak on these things. Any guy who openly brags about his junk, especially in the context when it has absolutely nothing with anything, but when does it ever really? Yes, hold on, I'm reading that again. In that context, when it has absolutely nothing with anything, but when does it ever really? Is overcompensating for something. That aside, I agree with you. He is seemingly doing everything with everyone, everywhere, all the time, and it would not surprise me in the least if he keels over on the stage one of these days. Well, the odds, I mean, I do not wish this amongst any person. Of course, we know more now than we used to, but, he's just moving off out of the meat sack that we know and love so well, just as we all shall one day, But I feel like the odds-on bet in Vegas would be, does he go on stage or off? And I feel like Sebastian Bach has rock and roll in his bones. And I bet you if you asked him, he'd say, hell yeah, that's where I want to go. Miss Althea on Phil Lewis, the fine singer from L.A. Guns. I'm sorry, but I am not digging the mustache. Quasi poor man's Captain Jack Sparrow look on him. Yeah. I love that phrase, poor man's, yeah. Because there's a couple of actors I used to think that way about. Like Michael Madsen. Who did I take? He was like the poor man's, like the working man's freaking Tom Cruise. Who would that be, though? I guess Tom Cruise is the working man's Tom Cruise, right? I'm not a fan of him. I've never watched any of his movies. Unless he just happens to be in it somehow. But any of those movies where his name is bigger than the title of the movie, I don't see him. She doesn't like his mustache there, Phil Lewis. You gotta work on it. You're looking like a poor man's Captain Jack Sparrow. Have a backup plan, in quotes, is not just good advice, but common sense. Jeez. Gavin Rosdale is the Bush guy. And yes. Everything's Zen. He's the Bush guy, and he was married to Gwen Stefani, whose name was also escaping you. Yes. I saw him, no doubt, back in the day. Who opened for him? Black Eyed Peas. But man, they rocked it when they were a little ska band, And then I don't know what the hell happened. Okay, Miss Althea says, new theory. Aliens are in charge of royal farms. Is that a brand? As I have mentioned in other comments, Den and I live about 20 minutes northwest of military base Fort G. Meade.
And anytime I have seen something suspect in the sky, it has been in that general vicinity. We drove through town earlier today, and while the landscape has been this way for a good long while, for the very first time I noticed that there were at least 4 or 5 royal farms within a 5-mile span of Route 175 West. Meanwhile, their competitors, such as Highs and 7-Eleven, are a scant maybe 1 or 2 either from city limit or city limits. 1 or 2 of either from city limit to city limit. But is Royal Farms a restaurant? Because the competitors are Highs. That's a restaurant, right? And 7-Eleven's a convenience store. I've goofed something in there. But back to the story. I'm interested. I mean, does Fort Meade really need that many Royal Farms? All on the same side of the road? Yeah. It's almost like a Starbucks level of encroachment. Don't get me wrong. I love their fried chicken. I had fried chicken today. I went to KFC. I was in the mood for 2 pieces of chicken. You can't just get 2 pieces of chicken. You got to get the combo meal that comes with the drink and the side and the roll. And I walk in and there's a kid sitting on the floor against the drive-through window looking at his phone with a headset on. Ain't another damn person in there. Not in the kitchen. You'd think you'd hear shit cooking up and, hey, get me another fryer over here. We got some hot ones. None of that. And so I finally go, hello? And he's, gets up. And so I order the 2-piece chicken. And then I go, are you the only one working here? And then this big guy comes walking out in his manager shirt. Oh, yeah, he's the only one working here today. And I was like, oh, you were in the back doing big, important business papers. You must have been doing that. And then they give you this big glop of macaroni and cheese. You know, what do you want for a side? Well, I just wanted the chicken. I can't have the chicken. I'll take the biscuit and take mac and cheese. And the tub. It was a fucking tub. And I had like 3 bites of it. And I was like, you know what? I'm old school. Give me Kraft macaroni and cheese. Give me that powder, whatever the hell it is. It's not cheese. But whatever it is, you boil the noodles up, you dump that orange shit in there, and you mix it up, you go, yum. Because I just wasn't a fan of that macaroni and cheese. So we need to figure this out because I feel like Highs is that beautiful burger restaurant. 7-Eleven is a convenience store, and Royal Farms is something, but you're right. There's no need for that. 5 of them. All right. Don't get me wrong. I love their fried chicken. I'm just saying. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. My brain is spinning. Royal Farms is a chicken restaurant. Now I feel like she literally said it's a chicken restaurant, and I missed it. But we're moving on. On related note, and FYI, Delmarva, the beautiful Delmarva area, is a collective term for the East Coast region of Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Delmarv. Damn it. Of course. Where was I at? I was in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, West Virginia portion. Does that make sense? I got to see the Exorcist stairs in Georgetown. I got to walk on the stairs in Georgetown. You remember that movie, The Exorcist, 1973 classic? Linda Blair is a 12-year-old gal who is possessed by Captain Howdy. And she swears a lot in it, so if you've never seen it, you're going to hear a lot of swearing and a lot of other things you're going to see happen in it. But the basis, spoiler alert, the basis is that the idea is that she's possessed. Yes, indeed, she is possessed by something. But there's also a detective hot on a case because someone has been tossed out, well, I believe it to be your daughter's bedroom window,
down a long flight of stairs. So those stairs are classic. And I got to stand on them. I just thought I'd share that with you. Dan and I are in Maryland part of the equation. So you're totally cool to hit the Delaware sitch. If they're in the Delaware sitch or if they're in the Virginia sitch, you're ready for it. And you're in Virginia and not West Virginia, because maybe that's where I was. Keeping it bitchy. Boop, 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 boop. There you go, Miss Althea. Very good, very good. Big Tone coming in here. You're a good man. You're like Joe, like Big Joe. I'm telling you, if you go watch those, and if you watch that bit where they're playing the game, whatever it's called, the challenge, and he's looking at her and she's doing the puzzle, you watch that bit, man, I sure wish I could bring that up. Look it up. But we can't, because then my podcast will get dinged. They take all the money, which it's only $3. Big Tone coming in here. He says, Brother Shane, we are still grieving the loss of my brother-in-law, my wife's baby brother, taken so senselessly in the most heinous way imaginable over a parking lot near Collision. It was a road rage. It's a process. Oh, you dear man. I'm telling you. Taken so senselessly in the most heinous way imaginably over a parking lot near Collision. Okay, so something done happened in that parking lot, and then you got some hothead, very low vibration. Very, very low vibration. You say, Shane, what the hell are you talking about low vibration? Okay. Let's say you take a fucking 25 pack of Bud Light and you shoot it with your fucking shotgun because, I don't know, somebody you didn't like did a fucking ad for it. Low vibration. None of this stuff should matter to anyone at all, ever. But what has happened here is this low vibration. He's pissed off about everybody. They're always in my way. I can't do anything. Everywhere I go, someone's has to do it. And that's what's happened here. Not to speculate, but I'm saying senselessly, this guy is vibrating at a very caveman level. And this is what happens. I wish you all the best. And as for this week's podcast, outstanding as usual, and a welcome reprieve from all that is going on. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Them road ragers, man. I think they just passed a law where they were like, road rage could get you 2 years in prison. This guy's going away for the rest of it. Or whoever, it might be a woman. You never know. You can't tell. Big Tone on Sebastian Bach. Sebastian Bach has seemingly rubbed everyone in the industry the wrong way at one point or another. And I'm surprised he's still able to fill gigs. Well, that's some choice words. As for Phil Lewis, I'll always be a huge LA Guns fan. But I'm in agreement once again with my good friend Miss Althea when I say there is no place in sleaze rock for a mustache. He looks like a Connie. Shave it, please. Well, that's two. Phil, that's two for now that's saying get rid of it. So I think you need to shave it off. Or put some wax in it. Put some wax in it. Take a few blabbermouth photos. We'll run this again and see what Miss Althea and Big Tone think of it. It's a great way to not shave the mustache off first. Just put some wax in it. If you style it up, maybe you don't have to shave it. We'll find out. You know, I'd love for you to comment in here and talk about it a bit. I saw Bush open for the Cult a few years ago, and it was one of the better shows that I've seen in quite some time. They both gave the fans their money's worth. And that's what you want. When you go to a concert, I'd love to see the Cult live. Especially back in the heyday. They were supposed to be on tour with Metallica on the And Justice for All, one of those tours. Because Metallica doesn't do one tour, they do 500. And they last 3 years. But Big Don says, you're not offending us paisans. And I just figured that was the only word that could be. You're not offending us paisans. That's how it is. We stick together. Hey, what are you going to do, huh? Thank you for the well wishes. We appreciate the sincerity. And as always, keep them coming, brother. And I will always, always. Heavy metal emoticon, heavy metal horns up, and ... get Shane, hashtag get Shane to 100K, and get Shane an Ambi award, which is like the best award you can have for this, apparently. So get me on the list. And you get power punching fist there with the kapow. Almost looks like a little orb. You know, right there. My TV's been on the fritz. I'm scared as shit about it because I use my TV to do my reaction videos. And I do those when I have 2 lousy days to myself. Soon I'll have a whole hell of a lot of days to myself. But I haven't been able to connect this TV to the thing, so I'm worried about that. If there's a blank week, that's the reason for that. But what I was going to say is, no TV. I rolled, you see my window, Olivia Newton orb. So I was like, you know what? Roll the damn blinds up and go to sleep with the blinds open, looking out there, seeing them beautiful, beautiful cloud stuff. Saw an orb, yes. Saw one that was sitting real high and one that was sitting low, and I didn't know if I was falling asleep or it was possessing me. But I started kind of tripping out on the window frame a little bit. I'm like, God damn, that's weird. Drone, of course. I saw 2 or 3 of them go by. You know, the red and green blinking lights. And who knows what those are. I don't know what they are. I don't know what everything is. But I know when a damn hawk spins around the sun and I'm looking up at it, that's got to be a sign. That's something out of a Pink Floyd fucking video. Miss Althea, wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, and my hand up. Every person that I could think of that I've ever loved, my hand up to them. That happened. And I was like, was that a sign? Because I don't know. But I could hear the fucking into the distance of a long black, stretched to the point of no turning back. And I'm looking up at the sun. Gotta keep my eyes from the circling skies. Turn. If that ain't a sign that it's like, dude, don't go. You're not going to ride a bike 15 miles and get on a bus and do this, and you know. Johnny B coming in here. Here we go. This week is going to be a little different as far as the comments go. I was unable to attend the monumental Back to the Beginning concert held this past weekend, but I streamed it and watched the entire thing from start to finish. Yeah, good for you. So I'm going to give you a fast breakdown and review of the highlights. I wonder if he talks about Ghost Guy. I think that hairdo that's hanging out of the back of that mask now is just cray-cray for me. And I just think he's spreading himself too thin. He did the Bohemian Rhapsody in front of Queen at some little gala. We did a video about that. And then he does this big thing. And I get it. You want to get your face out there all the time and whatnot. But
There was mystique, there was mystery, there was, it's like, where did they go? They vanished. I mean, yes, we have this last album and stuff, then all of a sudden, ba-ding, and you're like, oh, that's all kind of going away. Well, Johnny B says, here we go. The show kicked off with Mastodon, who brought their A game and were a perfect band to kick a show like this off. Each band chose a cover by Black Sabbath to play, and Mastodon covered Supernaut. With guest Eloy Casagrande, a Slipknot, Mario de Planter Gojira, they shredded. They were doing triple drums. And Danny Carey of Tool. This was really badass. There was some of that where I was like, oh, this is silliness. Because they did a Black Sabbath song, but they had Travis Barker, Danny Carey. Oh, and Chad Smith. Maybe it was Symptom of the Universe they were doing. And they go down, down, down. And then they had to do a drum solo and stuff. But they didn't, nobody really knew what they were doing. It came together. But it took them a bit. Next up, Rival Sons, and a bit of transparency on my end. I hadn't heard too much of them. However, they too brought their A game and killed. I have recently dove into their catalog a bit, and they have some bangers. They covered Electric Funeral perfectly. After that, it was time for Anthrax. See, I didn't see any of this. I'm just seeing the big batches that was coming up online. So I got more to watch. After that, it was Anthrax and their merry band of thrashy good times. Another great performance that seemed a bit rushed. Their version of Into the Void was spot on, but super fast. In between sets, there was a message from a slew of artists such as Def Leppard, Cyndi Lauper, Ozzy just wants to have fun, Dolly Parton, Marilyn Manson, Billy Idol, Judas Priest. Hello. It's Judas Priest. I'm sorry we couldn't be there, but we're playing here in Detroit. And Brian of AC/DC and a ton of others. I'm skipping Hailstorm and Lamb of God and going into the first All-Star Jamboree. They both put on an excellent set and were very awesome, but the All-Stars were tremendous. Okay. All-Star Jam number 1, Jakey Lee came out of retirement and messed up a bit, but got himself back on track, probably because he was jamming with the likes of Nuno Bettencourt, Mike Borden, Frank Bello, Sleep Tokens 2, Adam Wakeman, and you guessed it, the Dre Man. Yes, I saw the Dre Man. He says, they says, what song would you like to do, David? And he says, yes. Well, I've been thinking long and hard about this, and I've decided it shall be shot in the dark. I feel like I can deliver that one quite nicely to the audience before me. Uh-oh. The Dre Man, who was booed from the entire crowd, who announced when announced. He was booed by the entire crowd when announced, and when he took the stage, he sang Shot in the Dark and sounded like he didn't practice too much. David doesn't need to. My silly man. David doesn't need to practice. You must have lost your mind to say that. Don't you hear him in the back room? I see those videos, those YouTube shorts people put up where he's in the back room and he's singing like 70s songs and stuff. Not the best performance, but he made up for it later by taking selfies with all the big names backstage and posting them all over social media. What a jackass. Hey, Johnny B said it. Dre Man, don't come at me. You don't want none of this. I'm just telling you, Dre Man. You don't want any of what these can give you. Alice in Chains came out after the jam and nailed it. Their cover of Fairies Wear Boots, which is I love that tune, was phenomenal and very tight. Gojira came out after AIC and, in my opinion, gave one of the best performances of the day. They sounded amazing and played my favorite Sabbath song, Under the Sun. Absolutely awesome that these guys were asked to play that, and they crushed it. Yes. I mean, they are splendid. I've said this before. There is a fantastic free concert you can watch, and it is Gojira at Red Rocks. It's that outdoor amphitheater. It is stunningly shot, and it is just a masterpiece of a rock concert, and you can watch that free on YouTube. Gojira live at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. Okay, All-Star Jam 2 and 3. Remember when you did the story about K Downing speaking with Sharon and her telling him he would be playing with some guys? Well, the some guys were Billy fucking Corgan, Adam the Jones Man Jones O'Toole, Danny Carey O'Toole, yes, Living Colors Vernon Reed, Rudy Sarzo, and Tom, the incomparable Tom Morello. And at different points in the songs, Papa V, Sammy Hagar. I saw Sammy Hagar came out and said, "Hi, how you doing?" His cover wasn't that great, but he did Rock Candy, and this is the first song I ever did. Oh, I got something here. Tom Morello and different points, songs, different singers would come out. Papa V, Sammy Hagar, Steven Tyler, Ronnie Wood. Yeah, he played guitar. Yes, that Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones. It's almost like I'm having some kind of a argument with myself or something while I'm reading this, isn't it? From the Rolling Stones, I saw him come. I says, "All right, mate. Come on, mate, plug me in. All right, mate." And then he just blistered. They all did a cool set and played a classic rock mix of songs that got the crowd really excited. It was awesome to see. Pantera, I didn't see this bit either. Pantera took the stage after that and were amazing and sounded terrific. They covered Planet Caravan, that's the one. And it was fabulous. And was the second best cover of the night. What was I going to say? Oh, Steven Tyler. That dude sounds just as good as he ever has, man. And Steven Tyler has star power. When he was out lunged over that stage, he's a rock star. It's just like, I was looking at him going, that guy's a rock star. Tool came on next, and I'm probably biased because Tool is my favorite band ever, but these guys brought it. They covered Hand of Doom, and it was the best cover of the night. Enema and 46 and 2 were also played with tender emotion and strength. I lost my shit during their set. I've got another thing to tell you guys. I lost my shit during their set, so I've had to watch a few times to get the full experience. Yes, I fanboyed out. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Like I said, though, I saw a lot of people saying, that's good footage. You don't get that from those guys. And the guy that I work with knows, because he had to put his phone, or he couldn't take, I don't think it was bagged, but he couldn't bring the phone out. And he said a guy sitting 3 seats down from him pulled his phone out. Security came, took his ass out. Slayer, yes, and I saw this. Slayer reunited, and Tom Araya actually smiled while playing. Something I have never seen. They might be retired, but they sounded damn good. Yeah, that was the thing about Slayer. He was always looking out like, you guys ready to go? You know, like at any moment he could say, I want you to go. I want you to find the biggest knife. You know, like who was that one guy with the pentagram on his hand that was like, you know, Richard Ramirez? He always had that vibe to me, like, this guy, man. He was the most wholesome one of the bunch.
But you were like, that guy's the one that's evil. And he's telling him, we're going to play these songs about the devil. And whoa, we're going to do songs about that. And Kerry King and everyone else had to just put up with it. But no, it's the other way around. Slayer, they kicked it out. They might be retired, but they sounded damn great. GNR and Metallica. After a heartfelt rendition of Changes by Fredward Durst. Are you kidding me? Because I saw the one with Youngblood and it was amazing. Or are you talking about that kid? And you're saying is that rude? I don't know who that guy is, Youngblood, but he did a pretty damn banging job of that song. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm going to say this, and I know I might catch hell for it, but I feel it needs to be said. GNR was terrible. The band sounded good and really played well, but Axl did not at all. I don't know why or what happened, but his voice was flat and very rough. Metallica played well, but just didn't seem like they were all into it. Maybe it was just me still riding the Tool Slayer performance. The Tool Slayer performance high, but it just didn't seem like Metallica was on. Maybe they were tired. It's tiring to be the biggest metal band in the world, okay? They got shit to do. They never get a peaceful moment. If I'm thinking about who gets peaceful moments in Metallica, I'm saying Robert Trujillo gets the most peaceful moments. They say, oh, and by the way, Robert, I hope you're not doing anything in December around Christmas time because we're heading out. But I'd say Kirk Hammett is probably the next least business, because he's just like, man, let's just live and rock and have fun. But the other two guys, they're very busy, so they've got things on their mind all the time. Got to find my spot again. Just wasn't on. Maybe they were tired. I don't know, but both those bands underperformed in my opinion, and it was sad. But Ozzy, the man, the Prince of fucking Daphnis, Ozzy Osbourne, put on a great solo set with his best pal, Zach, by his side, who periodically checked on Ozzy. Made sure he felt like he was part of the show instead of the old guy in a chair. You were very correct about Zach being a beyond amazing human being, and can tell that Zach cares deeply about Ozzy. Yeah, he does. It was really cool to see Black Sabbath, all 4 original members hit the stage and were great. They played a little slow, but considering the age these gentlemen are, it's undeniable, understandable. I got a little sad at the end knowing it was over, but man, they provided my life with some amazing music, and I will be forever grateful for that. I didn't want to burp all over that sweet sentiment. It's the worst thing you can do, really, is as someone tells you a thoughtful thing that they're writing, like what I was telling you about Joe and Eva, if you're sitting there trying to hold back a burp or something, it's disgusting. But I don't know you're doing it, so it don't really matter. So that's it in a nutshell. If anyone else wants to see these performances, you can find them all on YouTube. I had an excellent day with my family watching this legendary show. My wife had a blast too, believe it or not. And she hates it. All that music I listen to. It was too hot to do anything outside, so it was perfect. They were hostages. I hope you enjoyed my little review, and until next time, keep looking up, keep on asking questions, and keep the metal spirit alive. I love you all. I love you all. Yeah. You didn't mention anything surprisingly about his farewell song. P.S. Sharon said she asked a band not... Oh, is he going to say? There was a band that was invited, and then she said, you're not going to be invited because they wanted money. Sharon said she asked a band to not come to this extravaganza, and the rumor for a whole was it was Foo Fighters. But then I heard someone say it was Motley Crue. And I'm starting to think that's right. We know Megadeth was asked but couldn't. I don't know why I said it that way. We know Megadeth was asked but couldn't, and that's sad because this would have been another Big Four reunion. Wow. I did not even think about that. Damn. Now, I hope, Mike B's down here. We still got a little bit more Johnny B here, but that's tiny, and I usually see some dots there. So, but he did say he was out till the next time or whatever. Hashtag Get Shane to 100K brought to you by hashtag, liquiddeath.com and benhoganshorts.com. Comfortable, relaxing, feel good. And then have just like a comfortable, relaxing, feel good. And then have a, like you're hitting a ball. Ben Hogan's. Slip your ass in these. Trademarked. You can't use that line. Feel good. Slip your ass in these. Ow. There's your heart, my friend. Mike Buchanan finishing it off once again. So just coming in here with a quick note. Hello to all the Shaniacs here and there and everywhere. Currently, I'm in Ohio, near Columbus, on my way home. Car rides are fun, aren't they? Hey, at least if you got windows that roll down or a little AC, you put on some Steely Dan and just do it, baby. We got some Steely Dan fans out there. I don't know what has happened to me in the last year, but I am a freak for Steely Dan. They sang, Back, Jack, do it again. And they did, Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? And the Cuervo Gold, the fine Columbia. Hey 19, just great. Black Cow. Bring your big black cow and get out of here. Just, someone out there in their heart and mind is going, not in their heart, but in their mind, they're going, he's false metal, dude. He's over there talking about Steely Dan. You cannot listen to fucking Steely Dan and like heavy metal. It is impossible. Anyways, let's get on out of here. I appreciate you guys. I hope you all have just take care of yourselves, okay? That's all I'm asking you to do. It's very simple. The more negativity that you cut out, the better you really will feel inside. It's completely different. Cut it all out. You don't need to know about it. Take your big black down. Come on. Pattern. We're getting out with a song, guys. So. Let's get that haunting number. Oh, yeah. Oh. When you're driving, baby, in your car, looking for spacemen and aliens and orbs in the sky. Why don't you listen to Shane? You're talking with Shane.